Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from an upcoming online Christmas cabaret with City Circle Theater of Coralville. Liz Tracey, who is with City Circle and also with the Coralville Center for the Performing Arts, the home of City Circle. Liz, welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be
And
here.
the director and writer of A Christmas Cabaret, Katie Colletta. Hi, Katie.
Hi, good to see you.
Nice to have you both in. So coming up, it's an original, new online show. And this is not just going to be, you say it's a Christmas cabaret, and that brings to mind, honestly, some people just singing a bunch of, unconnected, but probably very lovely songs. But it sounds to me from the materials that came out that there's going to be kind of a little story or through line that goes through this. So Katie, tell me about it.
Yeah, definitely. When Liz approached me about the project, she asked if I would be interested in creating a cabaret and liked the idea of perhaps two elves hosting the evening. And I thought that sounded like great fun. And things just kind of spiraled in my imagination from there. So yeah, we do end up with a whole through line, story, climax, the whole 9 yards. All socially distanced and in great segments to take care to keep everybody as separate and safe as possible. But honestly, that was part of the fun of creating it, was to have such a specific parameter to have to live within. But yeah, I think it should be a really charming and uplifting evening for folks.
How many are in the cast?
23.
Yikes. That's, to be honest, in our current, the way things are, done when we're, working online and things like that, that's huge. I mean, that's like in terms of a real stage production, that's kind of like working with a cast of 100.
Previously with City Circle, we had the last show we did had 3 characters in it. And so many people asked me, they miss theater so much and they wanted to get involved. And I think that's why we thought of this format. This style, a cabaret style, would allow us to film everyone separately. So even though there's 23, Katie's working with 1 or 2 at a time for the most part.
Yeah, not even just film separately, but to make sure we rehearse separately and leave time, sanitize the space in between performers, and just to make sure that we are as distanced as possible.
What was the process to select the performers? Open auditions? Did you kind of have a list in mind? How did that work?
Yeah, it was so lovely to have open auditions again for a project. There were so many amazing videos. For the most part, folks sent in Christmas carols, and a lot of folks shared why that particular song is meaningful to them, which was just so lovely. I mean, that's what the whole holiday spirit is about to me, is finding out what gives people those warm, fuzzy memories, what they're connected to. So yeah, it was a joy to get to watch everybody's songs.
And Katie, your background, of course, is in, stage production and live theater, but now you've kind of had to go into the movie making business. So when you were writing this script, you had to keep that in mind. Tell me about the challenges behind making that transition.
In terms of staging, I do have to keep reminding myself, like, no, your cameras are there. You don't have to think about it from your normal perspective. It definitely has just been a little about face for my.
Is it challenging for the actors who, again, are probably more used to being on a stage and kind of thinking about projecting all the way to the back row, and instead have to think a lot more intimately because they're talking and singing to a camera that's only a few feet away?
Yes, I think so. And I have to remind myself, especially since we don't have the cameras there right now, as a director, it's challenging sometimes to remember, oh yes, we are in a theater, but the camera, even if the camera is quite far away, the angle, the shot we can get is much closer and more intimate. So just having those conversations as we go.
What does the post-production look like, Liz?
We have John Hines, luckily, with Coral Vision, and so that means we have a nice setup of cameras, and he does a lot of the editing afterwards, and then I kind of look at the footage and hopefully pick the best shots and piece it together, and the look of it. But the idea is just to really try to get a good flow and to make it feel as natural as possible.
And it's going to have a little bit of a short run. You're only going to be offering it for a few days, just like a regular theater production.
Yes, December 18th through the 20th, that weekend. And actually, when you get your ticket, you can view it any time within those 3 days, which is really nice. I think with COVID, we're kind of outside of the world of sitting down at 7:30 to watch a show. I think people are watching at all unusual hours. So this gives them an opportunity to fit it into their schedule.
How do people get tickets?
If you just go to the coralarts.org online, you can get tickets, or you can call into the box office. We have limited hours, but doing it that way, if you have problems ordering your tickets, Nancy Mayfield can help you with that.
Katie, do you have a favorite moment in the show right now as you're kind of doing the rehearsal process? I mean, I know it's hard to pick, but if there was one piece that you wanted to talk about that you think just really will make people want to watch, what would it be?
There's so many. Well, first of all, my recommendation is to get yourself a mug of hot chocolate to watch the show. That is important. We tried to pick some unconventional Christmas music. So there's a delightful song called Miss Fogarty's Christmas Cake, which is basically an Irish drinking song about this terrible fruitcake that this poor man is forced to eat. And the lyrics are funny, and Greg Brown is playing guitar and singing, and there's a violin playing, and there are elves dancing, and it is just joyous and silly and so fun. There's that. Kristen DeGrazia is singing a gorgeous ballad, as she is wont to do. I think people are going to this is the spirit boost that we all need. Get some hot chocolate.
My favorite moment is the little boy, Matthew Lamb, who's, what is he, like 7 or 8?
8, I think.
8 years old, and talking to Santa, I think, is so adorable. His little song. It's such a cute moment.
A Christmas Cabaret with City Circle and the Coralville Center for the Performing Arts coming up December 18th through the 20th, only streaming for a couple of days. So you want to get your tickets and make it a priority to watch that. Liz, Katie, thanks for being with me today, and have a happy holiday.
You too, and thank you for having us.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:20, or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture, or using your favorite podcast app. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.